I guess we'll start with the fact that you probably won't be missing those phone calls in the middle of the night to let you know, tragedy has struck and they need you. Someone has been murdered in our city. How are you feeling right now that, you're coming to the end of this career?
Yeah, it's gone by very, very quickly. It's been 34 years, and I've been fortunate enough the last 5 years of it to be the unit commander of the homicide squads. The nighttime phone calls really came when I was working as an investigator on the floor between 2005 and 2018. And being on call and not being able to do anything really socially while you're on call, waiting for...
Because your team is the next one up, so the next person that gets killed in our city, you're
responsible for it. Right?
Why are you stepping away now? I should say riding away, because we know you're an avid cyclist. Why are you choosing this time? Is it because of that number, 34, 35 years, you just felt like...
So 34 years, it's an arbitrary number. I finished my best 5 in the rank. I've been the unit commander of the homicide squad for 5 years, and that's pretty unheard of.
Yes, that's a long time.
As well. Usually the unit commanders are there for 2, maybe 2.5 years.
It's such a tough
at
job.
The most. It's a tough job, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished over the last 5 years.
The clearance rate or percentage of homicides solved went up dramatically under your leadership. Now, 80% we're hearing, one of the best in North America we're also hearing. It used to hover around 50% sometimes, I think, for some services. What did you do differently then when you took over, you think, to help?
A lot of that is because of the product that we put forward with the personnel who are brought into homicide by myself and the management team. And we really try and focus on not bringing in those people who want to use it as a stepping stone to get promoted, but rather bring in the people who actually want to do the work, want to clear the homicides, and have a real addiction and passion for the work.
Solving these murders.
And that's the name of the game, is to solve the murders, clear the murders, and get the answers for the family and friends and loved ones of the victims.
Let's talk about trust with the community, because as a reporter, a crime reporter, I used to hear that a lot. To help solve these cases you need help from the community. You need help from people in the know. Were you able to build up trust with the community to help with these investigations during your tenure?
I think what we're doing right here is a big part of that. Mm-hmm. And working with the media and with the community and really letting the community know who we are, what we do, and the amount of work that we put into clearing these homicides. We saw it with the Bruce McArthur investigation, where we were able to put a lot more in front of the media for the public's consumption, and the critics who came out immediately after McArthur's arrest and said the police didn't do anything about this for the last 8 years. And then once all that information got out as to the amount of work that the divisions were putting into the missing persons investigations and ultimately being able to capture McArthur, the same critics would come and say, can't believe how much work you guys did over the years. Thank you very much. Right? And really allowing the media behind the scenes in some instances, show them the process. And I'm sure you remember the one day when we were excavating behind Mallory Crescent.
Yes.
And I brought the TV cameras down to film what was going on. And you literally have police officers hanging by ropes in a ravine, digging
slope.
Digging by hand for body parts.
Wow.
And it's such an impressive sight. And putting that out there, I took a lot of flack.
Internally?
Internally and from some media outlets. But that was very short-lived, right? Because of the positive spin.
Because the public could see what was going on, that work was being done. What other changes you think you've seen over the decades? I feel like the way police officers are looked at in society has changed, like it has for many professions, including journalism. But I mean, the culture of policing has changed. When we were younger, it was coffee and donuts. Now I hear it's carrot juice and muffins, right? So you've changed your mouth. But you've seen some. What kind of changes have you seen in your career?
I think the realization that PTSD and
the effects of the job,
the shift work, the effects of the job really affect individual police officers, and the ability to recognize that at the outset and address it at the outset so you can guide these young officers into healthy lifestyles. And we've talked about biking. At least 2 or 3 times a year, somebody in my office comes to me and says, can you set me up with a bike? And I set them up with a bike and maybe a bike trainer, and some of them stay with it, and some of them don't. And
I know it helps to clear my head when I get on the bike. So.
You need an outlet, whether it's biking or running or basketball. You need an outlet like that, and you have to eat healthily and not rely on the coffee, the donuts, the booze.
It's a tough job, and a lot of people do rely on those things in the past. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your service.
Thanks for having me, Dwight.
Appreciate it.